Please stand. And now the processional of the senior class of 2021. Thank you. You may be seated. And now our welcome and why, Miranda Casares from MacArthur High School.
Good evening and welcome to our Baccalaureate service hosted for the first time by Oakview Baptist Church. Thank you guys for hosting Irving ISD. We appreciate it more than you know. My name is Miranda Casares, and I was asked to speak on behalf of MacArthur High School and incorporate a scripture that speaks for all of us, past, present, and for our future. Before I get there, like many, I asked myself what baccalaureate really is. A baccalaureate service is a service where we gather here and celebrate our accomplishment of graduating high school. Over the past 4 years, we have overcome so much, whether it had been academic or related to school at all. We finally made it, class of 2021. For many, throughout high school, and even after, we tend to question why we are putting ourselves through difficult times and if it's even worth it to continue. As we grow mentally through high school and continue to grow, we still might find ourselves wondering what drives us and what motivates us to excel. Well, in Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart and working for the Lord, not for human masters." What I take away from this is that whatever you are working on in accomplishing is for ourselves and to work on it in the hands of God, not for other people. We will work not for others' approval and seek it, for the only approval we need is already provided by God. We will work not for the glory received by others. Instead, we will work in good faith and for the best is yet to come. Remember, everything in our path was set for a reason, for better or for worse. Thank you, and go Cards.
And now we'll have a choir performance by Nimitz High School. An inspirational reading by Oscar Ledesma, Irving High School.
Hola, 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 ¿cómo están todos? ¿Cómo están? Hi, as he said, my name is Oscar Desmond. I'll be giving you your inspirational reading. The experienced mountain climber is not intimidated by a mountain. He is inspired by it. The persistent winner is not discouraged by a problem. He is challenged by it. Mountains are created to be conquered. Adversities are designed to be defeated. Problems are sent to be solved. En español para mi gente, el alpinista experimentado no se siente intimidado por una montaña. Está inspirado por ella. El ganador persistente no se desanima por los problemas, sino que los desafía. Las montañas están creadas para ser conquistadas. Las adversidades están diseñadas para ser derrotadas. Los problemas se envían para que sean resueltos. Gracias.
And now we'll have a keynote message to the class of 2021 by Pastor Jack Teal, Minister of Student Services and Media, Oakview Baptist Church.
Hey guys, how's it going? First of all, I want to welcome you from our family here at Oakview Baptist Church. We are so glad to see each and every one of you, and we are excited to work with Irving ISD. This is cool. This is cool to have you guys here and celebrate you in a way that maybe we didn't think we were going to get to do. And so I'm excited about it. Oakview's excited about it, and we're just really glad that you're here. So I was sitting around. I've been meeting with the student councils over the last couple weeks, and we've been talking about the theme of moving mountains, and I was sitting up in my office thinking about what do people who move mountains look like? You know, what does that look like? What are characteristics of people like that? And so I was sitting in my chair and I was spinning because that's fun, and I was procrastinating, and I was just kind of looking around my office, and if any of you guys ever want to visit me, I'll be up in my office. It's on the second floor right in the back of the lobby. It's cool. I got red couches, and it's good times. My dog's usually there, Lucy. That's Lucy. She's the cutest. Yeah, she's in a dress. It's cool. And so Lucy and I were hanging out. And the other thing that in my office that I just noticed is I keep these pictures on the wall of men and women with quotes, pictures of them with quotes to kind of inspire me. I usually use them for when I'm writing a sermon or when I'm doing things like that. I keep them around because as a guy who maybe not be the smartest ever, I like to keep smart words on my walls. And so I was looking around the room and I'm like, hey, these people on my wall are mountain movers. These guys are world changers. And so I started to think, and I was like, what are the things that each one of these people have in common that make them mountain movers, that make them game changers, world changers? And I came up with 3 things. So here's the 3. Number 1, work hard. There it is. Work hard. Teddy Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States. He graduated from Harvard University. He was a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and he has a stuffed bear named after him, so that's pretty cool. So that's a pretty solid start. And this is what he said about working hard. We must dare to be great, and we must realize that greatness is the fruit of toil and sacrifice and high courage. Guys, there is greatness in this room. As I look across these first 4 or 5 rows, there is greatness. But you have to produce it. It doesn't come out on its own. It's not going to just sort of show up one day on your doorstep. You're going to have to work hard. And Teddy's right. It takes courage. It takes real courage to do things that you've never done before and do them well. It takes real courage to get up earlier than everybody else and go to bed later than everybody else to do something and accomplish something that everybody else says you can't do. That takes courage. And that courage is in this room, and if you work hard, and when you start to feel that when you go to bed super tired, that you did something right. And I want to thank Miranda for coming up here and sharing that verse with us. Emmett, that's my son. Ethan, if you could pop that up again. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. This motivation is the only motivation that I know that is sustainable. The world is going to reward you for hard work, sure. You know, it's not even that common, and so the world is going to give you promotions. You're probably going to make more money if you work hard. I spent a lot of my life in the corporate world where working hard and spending more hours on things gave me promotions, gave me the money. But let me tell you, there's a cap on all those things. There's an end point on all those things. But if you work for the Lord rather than human masters, there's no end. The possibilities are endless. And man, when you go to bed tired knowing you worked for that way, then you know that you've done something good that day. That's where greatness comes from. Which leads us to number 2. See, I told you I'm going to be quick. We're going to be like 10 minutes, I promise. Number 2, serve others. Mother Teresa, she was a nun, also a Nobel Peace Prize winner. She gave up everything she possessed to go serve a group in India that nobody else in the world wanted to serve. She loved them. She gave up everything. She lived homeless. She begged for her food just so that she could serve a people that nobody else wanted to serve. And now her organization and charity serves over 133 countries in the world. That's a world changer right there. And this is what she says about serving others. Oh, I got that wrong, guys. Sorry. Didn't hit my notes. I'm going to go back. Martin Luther King Jr. No, we'll go all the way back, Ethan. Sorry about that. Martin Luther King Jr. He's also a Nobel Peace Prize winner. He's also a Nobel Peace Prize winner. He's changed millions of lives with what he did in the civil rights movement. And he has a legacy of greatness. He's one of only 3 people whose birthday is celebrated as a national holiday. My birthday was yesterday. I had like 10 people tell me happy birthday on Facebook. This is what he says about serving others. Sorry, we'll get to Mother Teresa, I promise. Everybody can be great, because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics and physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Now, there are a lot of educators and teachers in this room, and so I'm just going to pause right here. And what Dr. King and I am telling you today is not that you don't have to go get your college degree. We want you to do that. I have one. He got his first one at 19 years old. That's kind of impressive. And so that is not what we're saying. But what we are saying is that you don't have to wait till then to serve. You can serve wherever you are with whatever resources you have, no matter what. If you have a heart that's willing to be humble, you can serve. And let me tell you guys, if you can serve in a way that loves others, if you can humble yourself in that way, you can change the world. And it's not easy. Gandhi said this. Gandhi said that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. That's the greatest gift we can give. And true leaders know how to serve others. In this time of solitude and isolation, serving others reminds us that we're not alone. In this time, in this place where we have a me-first attitude, it reminds us that we're better together. And I want you guys to remember that when we serve others and love each other in that way, that we can make a big difference. Now, third point, let's love unexpectedly. Now, as I was telling you, Mother Teresa, she's still awesome, even 3 minutes later. Mother Teresa was a nun, and she gave up everything she had, and this is what she said about love. People who love each other fully and truly are the happiest people in the world. They may have little, they may have nothing, but they are happy people. Everything depends on how we love one another. Everything depends on how we love one another. Those other 2 things that we talked about come directly from this. If we want to be mountain movers, if we want to be world changers, it starts and ends with how we love each other. How can we love better in a world that doesn't like it? How can we listen to other people's stories so that we can love them better? How do we respond with love when people come at us with anger and hate? That's who we need to be. We need to be the change that we want to see. Guys, if we can do that in this world that doesn't even know how to disagree anymore, if we can answer that conversation and enter that conversation and that battlefield that comes from disagreements and just love them through it and change the way that we do things, then we can start a new conversation which will create a new world. Now I'm going to wrap up. I told you I was going to be real quick. This last quote that we have, it's from a guy who did not win a Nobel Peace Prize. He did not. He got his first college degree at 35 years old. But he was in the safety patrol at John Haley Elementary. Go Bulldogs. He got in a few fights at Bowie Middle School, and he met the love of his life at Nimitz High School. There you go. I am not a famous man, and I don't have a lot of cool, smart quotes for you guys, but there's one that I have that I actually got put on a sticker. It's right here. Yeah, there it is. And if you come find me later, I got a few. And it says this: God loves you more than cheetahs. That's my famous quote. It's not on my wall, guys, but it is on my Yeti cup. Let me give you a little context. So I met Jesus when I was about 30 years old. So I was late in the game, and about 6 months or so after that, Pastor Jim, the pastor here, we were in here in what's called a vacation Bible school, and he said, Jack, hey, go tell that 6-year-old little boy about God. And I was scared. I was really upset. I was like, man, I don't know God at all myself. How am I supposed to tell this 6-year-old little boy who God is? And the whole room, this room right here, actually, I was sitting right over there, was a jungle theme. There were trees over here, and there were vines hanging, and monkeys, and all sorts of cool stuff. And God spoke through me that day, and he said, man, you know what? God loves you more than cheetahs. Now, since that day, I've been to Bible college. I've served in several ministries. I have served well. I have worked hard, and I have loved unexpectedly in areas all over the world. I know God a lot better than I did that day, and I'm still working towards getting closer to him. But what I'll tell you this is that's still the most profound thing I've ever said. All the education I have, all of the experience that I now have has nothing to do with changing that fact, because God created the oceans and these mountains that we're going to move. He created killer whales, which are super awesome if you ever watch those videos. And he created cheetahs, but he set us apart. He set us apart. He loves us above all of those things. And if you remember that, then I did my job today. So if you get nothing else from what I've said today, know that I love you, and I don't even know you, but God loves you, and that's way more important. So let's go out there and move mountains. Thanks, guys.
Now we'll have our inspiration by Amina Amerivic from Nimitz High School.
Hi, good evening. My name is Amina Omerovic, and I am here to talk on the behalf of Nimitz High School. Imagine losing your job, losing a year of school, or losing your loved ones. Sadly, nearly all of us in this room have experienced it at least once in one of these events in the last year. However, what I want to speak about is how this pandemic has affected us as high school seniors. I remember so vividly the first day of elementary school. I asked my kindergarten teacher what year I would graduate from high school. She responded saying, "You'll graduate in 2021. Being an oblivious 6-year-old I brushed it off, thinking the day would never come. If only someone had told little Amina how quickly time passes. Fast forward to today, I would graduate in less than a week. Looking back to March of 2020, when the school district announced spring break was going to be extended and all our classes would be online for the rest of the year, my mind entered into vacation mode. Excited, relaxed, not a worry in the world. At that time, though, I was not very conscious of how this pandemic would have really affected everyone. Summer struck and my mental health was at an all-time low. I began to realize how sad and lonely this pandemic truly was. Every day I felt worthless, like giving up, and I think that is the worst thing a human can ever experience. However, I remember reading somewhere, every hardship comes with ease. I pushed myself hard all summer and fall to get stronger mentally and just to be able to finish my senior year strong. Most of us feared the senior year was probably not going to happen. Students weren't going to experience kindergarten joy or the first day of high school. It was truly devastating in my mind, and many of us had a negative mindset for this entire school year. This year felt like a distorted sense of time. Yet this year was an inspiration to many students to be able to keep going and get stronger. People started having more time for themselves once they started to spend much more time at home. And many of us saw this as a chance to better ourselves, whether it be from education, mental health, or even just personal hygiene practices. When I reflect back on where I was having experienced this journey, I can use experience to help prepare myself and strengthen my resiliency for those challenges college has in store and just for life in general. I believe many other people feel this way too. I look in the mirror and I see myself as an example to keep going. This pandemic forced us to be stronger and care more for ourselves. Okay, sorry. I know most seniors are eager to graduate and ready to move on in life, but I think we should all take a moment from today to think of the past. All the pathways we were at once, the bonds we once had with people, and all the decisions we made. Then consider the present and the amount of growth you have built by those decisions, and be your own inspiration. Finally, in the blink of an eye, I graduate in less than a week. I'm starting to think it's not only the younger version of ourselves who are oblivious to time, but we as humans fail to appreciate the value of time. Thank you.
And now, Superintendent Magda Hernandez with the superintendent's message.
Good evening, Irving ISD board members, parents, distinguished staff, the ministry staff of Oakville Baptist Church, friends, and of course, our amazing graduates from Irving, MacArthur, Nimitz, Carwell, and Singley. It is my most sincere pleasure to be here tonight and to have the opportunity to deliver a brief baccalaureate speech before you. I am deeply grateful for your thoughtfulness and this precious opportunity. One of my favorite verses from the scriptures is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, and reads this way. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your path. This verse is the basis of my words of encouragement and wisdom for you graduates this evening. I want to share 3 key words that come to mind when I ponder about the wisdom contained in this passage. These words are God, faith, and love. Here is what I would like for you to remember this evening regarding the first word, God. It is the fact that you are not alone. You are a special and unique person whom God has created for a purpose and with a purpose. He created you for his pleasure and to rejoice in your existence. He also created you to fulfill the plan that he has designed for your life. The question is, what is the plan? Well, that is what makes the life he has given us. He has given you full of excitement and expectations. It is so because it is left to you to discover his will for your life by placing your trust in him and allowing him to guide you in all aspects of your life. It is precisely about that trust that this verse speaks about. It is about learning to trust in God before you trust in your own schemes and ideas. It is only after you have trusted in God and sought his counsel that you will be affirmed on the way that you should go. Here is where the second word comes, faith. The scriptures define faith as the assurance of things hoped for and the convictions of things not seen. When you act in faith, you act with the conviction that after you have sought God in faith, the very things that your heart desires that are in accordance with his plan for you will become possible. The scriptures also say that without faith, it is impossible to please God, and that those who come to him must believe that he is, and he rewards those who faithfully seek him. Therefore, apply your heart to seek after God at your young age so that you may sooner rather than later recognize his plan for your life so you may find joy and success in life. That joy and success will not be necessarily measured by money and career advancement, but rather in finding satisfaction and fulfillment in the calling of your life. Whether that calling is education, technology, medicine, law, church ministry, or any other career, you will only find true fulfillment and joy when your heart and mind are satisfied with the purpose that God has set for your life. And this brings us to the third word, which is love. Yes, love is the key word that connects God and faith and brings them together in harmony. Love for God will lead you to love yourself. Love for God will lead you to love others. Love for God will lead you to love the world He created, which in turn will lead you to love and give back with much appreciation through the calling of your life. Find what you love with all your heart and seek to do it better than it ever has been done. Love to create, to teach, to heal, to practice justice, and to serve your fellow men through the calling of your life. You must do so while remembering to acknowledge God in everything you do, because He has promised that you will. He will make your paths straight. Therefore, amazing graduates from Irving Independent School District, as your superintendent, I wish you the very best in your future endeavors, and I pray that you will able to put into practice, if you haven't already, some of the things I have shared with you tonight. They have been the compass of my life, and I can assure you that there is true wisdom in the timeless truth they have contained. May God bless you today, tomorrow, and always, and may His grace be upon you for the rest of your precious lives. I love you.
Our closing message by Bishop Banda and Fabian Perez, Singley High School.
Good evening, and we were chosen to speak on behalf of Singley Academy for our closing speech. We as humans love to plan out our dream life and put ourselves in the best case scenario. Many of us are very good at making agendas, schedules, and daily checklists. We do this so that we know exactly what is going to happen in our lives and when it is going to happen. Now, of course, planning and preparation are very, very important for daily life. In fact, planning and preparation are proven to lead to very positive outcomes. However, more oftentimes than not, life does a fantastic job of throwing curveballs at you and disrupts all of your planning and preparation. When our plans become altered and disrupted, we as humans tend to have feelings of frustration, disappointment, and even sometimes depression. Disruptions can show up in many forms. For example, losing a family member or a very, very close friend, breaking up with your significant other, losing a job, or experiencing a major sickness or a life-changing injury. But in the midst of the struggle, one question of hope persists in our darkness. Is it always bad that things don't go the way that we planned? And could the unexpected curveballs and setbacks that life throws at us actually be a blessing in disguise?
Embracing uncertainty requires faith, hope, and trust. Embracing uncertainty means giving up control and surrendering to the beautiful future that will unfold as we accept where we are and move forward with openness and confidence. Embracing uncertainty means believing in your higher self or your higher power, and knowing that although you may not see it, things are always working in your favor. Every year, the senior class faces the future with some degree of uncertainty. College, jobs, military, and service work call us into the unknown and unexpected. But we, the senior class of 2021, face the future already well-versed in uncertainty. Our resiliency during this past year is proof of that. Despite our best plans, we are often required to accept circumstances that are beyond our control. Uncertainty is an opportunity as much as it is a challenge. We leave you, our friends, with these words. Have faith, be hopeful, trust yourself, be at peace with what happens around you and for you, and believe that all things are falling into place just as they should.
And with this being said, the class of 2021 is more than equipped to move mountains and accomplish goals beyond any of and all of our wildest dreams. To the class of 2021, congratulations, we made it.
Members of the Chambers Choir will sing "The Lord Bless You." Graduates, please stand for the recessional. Your senior class of 2021.